Take a look at this story that's also rather depressing. House Democrats tout bill to add 4 seats to the Supreme Court.
Oh, boy.
This is them just saying, we can't win politically.
Yeah.
We can't win your votes. Nuke the system and give us the power.
Jeez.
And if they actually try to overturn or bypass the filibuster to stack 4 more seats and give Joe Biden 4 appointees, man, this country just implodes. What do you think? Like, what do you guys think will happen if, let's say, in the next session or whatever, they say we're doing away with the filibuster, we're pushing this bill through, it gets pushed through, and then Joe Biden goes 1, 2, 3, 4 new Supreme Court justices. What do you think the reaction would be?
Yeah, well, this is theatrics, because Manchin and Sinema already said they would not tank the filibuster. They don't have the votes for it, and Manchin and Sinema both came out and said they wouldn't allow court packing. So they know they don't have the votes in the Senate. The House doesn't have any jurisdiction in this area, right? Only the Senate approves or confirms justices. So this is desperate for November to say, hey, vote for me because I proposed a bill to add 4 justices to the Supreme Court. This is all theatrics. It's terrible. The scenario that you're painting is bad, and we shouldn't be playing these games. It reminds me of like playing with your. Do you have a lot of brothers? I was the youngest of a whole bunch. Reminds me of playing with your brothers as a kid, and when you're the baby, and you keep changing the rules because it's like not fair. You can only throw red ones, and you have to close your eyes. And it's like by the end, the rules are so stupid, but it's basically because you're a loser and you don't want to lose. You want to prolong the game, and that's what they're doing. They just keep changing the rules to prolong the game.
I suppose it's fair to say, obviously it'll never happen. You know?
Yeah.
But we didn't think Roe v. Wade was going to get overturned either. And that's...
Well, some people did.
Yeah, but most people didn't.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one. She thought it would be overturned eventually.
There were a lot of conservatives that were like, there's no way they'll do it.
Yeah.
They won't do it. They didn't. Some people thought it was going to happen, but most people didn't. I mean, maybe we had conversations, but I thought the attitude most people had was like, man, I don't know. I don't think they'll have a spine for it. Roberts will be opposed to it. And then it happened, and I didn't think it was going to happen. But I will say, at the very least, the bare minimum is we're at the point where Democrats are just basically saying, torch the system and give us the power, regardless of if they're able to get it or not. And so if we keep moving in this direction, it's only a matter of time before it spills over. And then there's I mean, I got to be honest, I already think we're in the territory of, it's just about seizing power regardless of what matters for the American people.
Yeah. And what's frustrating about this is that Roe is a clearly very dramatic decision. It's got a lot of impact. I'm not at all making light of it. But there have been a lot of Supreme Court cases which have way more impact on the average American without them realizing it, that were decided poorly. Kelo versus New London is the one that always comes to my mind, which was about eminent domain, right? And the right for the government to seize your property for the promise of additional taxes. That if you go to Times Square in New York right now, you'll see all these signs because the governor of the state and the mayor want to take over about 300 businesses around Penn Station because they want to build a new 15 building complex. Wow. And they're like, well, this is my little pizzeria. And it's like, well, we're going to take it because of eminent domain. And they legally have the right because of Kelo versus New London. It happens all the time. Eminent domain is how government seizes your property because Tim wants to build a condo there, and the condo will generate more taxes than your little farm.
That's crazy. That's
a terrible decision. So my point is that the courts have made terrible decisions in the past. Dred Scott was one of the terrible decisions. Korematsu was one of the terrible decisions. But we've never responded with, well, therefore we have to blow up the courts. So it shows you not just the pettiness of the left right now, but it shows you the real ignorance of them. Right? Politics is a slug match, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and the system prevails for 246 years. But the fact that they're like, well, now we don't want to play the game anymore.
It's cultural decay.
It really is.